Hello my dear friends, we are back here today in order to find out what is up with Bitcoin, what assets represent great interest in order to find out the best short setup, and what assets are going to give the biggest return if you take that short. And also let's talk about what is the best time to start investing, because a lot of people ask me in DMs what should we do because the market is fragile, the politics is nasty, and the crypto market is as well. So basically, what should we do, especially if you are saying that the possibility of the market of Bitcoin going lower, for example, to $16,000 or $14,000 is actually still real. Then what should we do? Should we start investing now, or should we wait for that final leg down? So definitely I'm going to cover these questions today. Let's scan through Bitcoin chart. Let's start with it, shall we? Okay, what happened this week? I told you that we are in a tight range and we are refusing to break this 18,000 support, but also we were reluctant to break this global counter trend line that lasts from our top in 2021. So definitely, what should we do? And I told you that we are getting very tight here in a tight range, and this week we kind of broke it, as you can see. But that is a matter of context and how you build your counter trend lines. Definitely, it looks like we have already broke it, but if I look at my, for example, Coinbase chart, we haven't yet. As you can see, we still had some fake out here. Depends on based on which weeks you are trying to build this counter trend line, either on this one or the top one. But I think there is no difference here, because the actual matter here, and the thing that actually matters for us to find out whether we are going higher or not is this red line that I drew weeks ago, and you remember it from my last video. So definitely, for us to go higher, first to this blue trend line that we have lost a month ago, we have to break and go further. We have to break $20,453 and hold that as support at least. So basically, we have to break it in order to go to $24,000. But I think a lot of people are telling that if we break it, we will go to $22,000. I am positive that if we break it and hold it, we definitely can go even to $24,000, because there is this, our global indicator here, not global but midterm indicator right now, this blue line. It is going to be strong, I guess. And also this blue line is at the same spot where is our 200 moving average resistance. So definitely it represents great interest for us. So today we are heading into the weekend, and the CME is closed for the weekend. So basically, that is the guarantee that we won't fall down in the free fall to the downside. So we won't have any significant moves during this weekend, as we usually do while we are on the weekend and CME is closed. So definitely we have this indicator, we have this support here below. This green line is our support. So technically, if we finally lose it, break it and lose it, we will go I guess to 16,000, 1630, 300, the zone that I was mentioning many times in my videos. I stand to that, at least there. So, but for now, it is unlikely that we will go there. So probably we will be chopping this counter trend line. And if our weekly is going to close like this, with this still under this red local resistance line, but above this green line, and it is going to open above this counter trend line the next weekly, definitely we will find support here somewhere around 19,400, 19,000, and we can actually mean that we will hold this support, and we can finally go for the break of that red line at 20,453 and go higher. So definitely this is going to be our expansion or a part of building a global accumulation zone. So, and why not further? Because I told you before that we have this global counter trend line with the resistance around $28,000-$34,000. The further we go, the further the resistance is going to be. But I don't think this ride is going to be very easy for us. So technically we should follow it like that. Let's look at our CME chart, and as you can see, we already jumped here under the global counter trend line that we are holding for a long time already. So definitely if we don't jump back up, for example somewhere here, we won't have that ride to the upside. We will have another ride to maybe to this blue line, as we spoke already many times. Don't know where its bottom is going to be, but we have to take it into consideration. But even if Bitcoin tries to stay above and goes for, and I mentioned these scenarios in my Twitter account, for example, if we go for 24,000, then anyway we will continue building a global accumulation zone, and it is going to be in both sides, and we are not breaking 28,000, I think so. So definitely if we break it, we will continue to trade in this range, great range, and maybe even breaking and doing the new lows. And this global counter trend line will become our support already. Definitely we will be back somewhere here at least, and we'll be trying to build a bigger accumulation zone. Now let's look at it, what we have here, for example like this, and we will meet somewhere here. It is my long-term vision. It is not guaranteed, of course. We don't know a lot of information from now on. I am a trader. I can see the macro things on the chart and predict them, but as a TA trader, I prefer to get some confirmations in order to make any further predictions. But that would mean much sense to me. So definitely do not expect for easy ride, and don't expect that you will buy today and on the bottom. Look at how long we are staying, almost half a year we are staying in this zone, and everybody who wanted to buy to accumulate their assets. They already did that. Everybody got the chance, and you think that okay, I will buy, and in a year and a half, in 2 years, I'm going to be rich. Just like maybe in a year and a half, we will have bull run. Everybody, when it sees 10% gain on Bitcoin, they are telling already we are going to $70,000-$80,000 or even $380,000. That is nonsense. You're not getting that. Because why? Because in 2018 everybody thought that Bitcoin is going to zero. Everybody was scared. The regulators told us that crypto is going to be banned and punished and followed, but in reality they were accumulating. So a lot of people and even experienced traders were scared to buy, and they didn't know where the bottom is going to be. So a lot of people missed those opportunities because of the fear. Today nobody is fearing crypto and Bitcoin, because everybody knows that it is here to stay. So when we are getting these low prices, and of course everybody is going to buy it, and you think you will receive the same fast and retracement free runs that we had in 2020, 2021? I don't think so. The market makers and big smart money's intentions are not to make you rich. It is more of making themselves rich. And to make themselves rich, they need the crowd to do something opposite to what they are doing. If they are accumulating, they need you to sell. If they are buying, if they are selling, they need you to buy. So you should keep that in mind. Let's look at our S&P futures, because we know that S&P is following strictly now. Crypto market follows this S&P 500, and what we have here, as you remember, we marked our target here, and I told you that probably we will have here some bounce from this place, and we did actually, but we kind of broke this support and we drew some deviation. Now the markets are closed for a few days. What we have here, so if our weekly, and we can see that our weekly is closing like this with green candle, there is a big chance that the next week is starting with the upside movement, and that would make sense for Bitcoin too, especially if we wait for Bitcoin to open above that counter trend line and that green line that holds us from oblivion. Then definitely we would make the same situation here, and we could see such movements from S&P 500. And definitely here we will see some rejection or some resistance, of course. And at some point we will be back. I think sooner or later we will mark this zone on S&P 500. 3,400, 3,200 is the ultimate goal for me. This is where we can feel the relief. We have this global counter trend line, and whether you like it or not, or trend line, whether you like it or not, sooner or later we will get there. It is just a matter of time and in which order. So definitely we have a solid counter trend line here. Let's turn on our indicators. We don't see anything like here. Oh, sorry, we don't see here much. Let's delete this drawing and turn on the monthly chart. We can see here, of course, we have got still room to dump here. Why? Because we have this monthly Kijun, and it marks our targets splendidly. For example, we don't know how the monthly is going to close, because based on this previous monthly we can still go down lower from this month too. So technically on the weekly we can pump a little bit and retest those resistances, but sooner or later we will be back and we will retest this zone, and we will have super Kijun shift support as our support actually, and the rest of it will be seen when we come there. So keep that in mind, guys. Next, let's look at our, I guess we are done with Bitcoin here. Everything is clear for the moment. Let's talk about the investments. A lot of people are asking me whether should they start investing, because a lot of people still fear that Bitcoin can go lower to $10,000 to $14,000, $12,000, and they have a point. The danger of the market and politics situations worldwide is still fragile and unstable, and some altcoins have also some setups that are telling us that they have to roll back significantly. And what should we do? I will tell you what I do, and I have some examples, good examples, that will make you understand my point. I think my conviction is that you should start investing even now if you have a good strategy, if you have a good conviction in your asset that you invest in. For example, when I choose to invest in an asset, I have a rule that I need at least 3 fundamental reasons why I'm going to invest in it. So not just any reason. For example, let's look at injective token, and this is one that I missed myself. Injective token. I was telling you many times that this asset is worth buying and holding for the long term. Why? First of all, it is backed by Binance, Pantera Capital, and other all the top crypto industry investors and venture capital funds. So definitely it was worth buying injective. Secondly, it has dropped from its top more than 96%. Look at it. No, just 96%. And that is a safe haven here to invest in it. How much lower it can go? For example, I was telling you everybody, and I had my orders there. I had my orders at $1. I thought that when the price was here and we were ready to break this global counter trend line, I was hoping that the price will pump a little bit up and it will go back to, for example, its current lows, and maybe renew a little bit the lows. So my orders were at $1. So I was expecting the price of it to come to $1. 95 cents, $1. So I didn't get that. I didn't want to buy at 115, 117. And I paid for it because there was a second reason, the third reason for to buy injective. It received an additional funding from the top crypto funds a few months ago. So definitely, as you can see, after that it soared significantly. As you can see, it already reached $2.50 on the peak. So definitely this is a missed opportunity for me. And also I had the reason to buy it because I knew where it is heading. So it was clear to me that we will be in the next round, we are going to follow this global trend line. We have great confirmation that it is a working trend line. So in a few years, the price of Injective is going to be around $18-22. Was it worth it to buy it at $1 or $1.17? Of course, but I missed it because I wanted it a little bit lower. I wanted a bigger return, clearer return, so I wanted to buy it at $1. I didn't get that, and I doubt that I will have the opportunity to buy it. Also, you could use it to stake it with 7 to 10% APY. Definitely a great missed opportunity for me. Another one, I was talking about sushi. A lot of people forgot about this token, and definitely it was worth buying. I was talking a lot about it by the end of 2021, and I was telling you that this asset is good to buy. It dropped a lot, as you can see. Let's measure it. More than 96% from its all-time high. And what I like about this, and also Injective token, it has great tokenomics. The total available amount of supply of these assets tokens is so limited that its price can fly almost without limits from if we calculate from our current bottoms. So definitely I was telling you to pay attention to sushi, because sushi was the second after Uniswap, I guess, top DeFi project, and this one, even it had its problems. They couldn't find the sous chef, the CEO of their company, and they renewed their roadmap. I mentioned it in the previous videos many times. So it was worth it because the economics are sweet and the prices were also sweet. And I knew that during the next bull market, the next super cycle, this asset, even if it gets forgotten, it will be pumped hard when the altcoin season is going to come. It is going to be the same situation like with Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. Nobody wanted Ethereum Classic. Nobody saw its value, its utility until the altcoin season came, and the asset that was worth, I don't know, a couple of bucks pumped to $130 in a few weeks. So these speculations, these are the assets that get the attention of big speculators and big money. So sushi, if it wasn't meant to feel strong on the market, it would be speculated this way too. So definitely, and now yesterday or the day before yesterday, we've got the news that sushi has received an additional funding again, and of course they appointed the new sous chef of their team. So it is a good positive news, and sushi started pumping. And as you can see on this chart, it is a clear accumulation zone here, and it felt very strongly in his $1 area from 19 cents to $1. And I told you many times that $1 is a best offer, even if we go, as I said, lower to 60 cents. For example, we break this 90 cents support and go to, for example, 60 cents. It won't matter to you. Why? Because there you can simply, you will understand that that is the bottom, and you can open the smallest, use your sushi, send it to FTX and use it to open along the smallest 1x or 2x long with your sushi and use it to increase the amount of your sushis from now. And when it starts, for example, you bought here at $1, it dropped to 60, you open that long, safe long, it gets back to the recovery, and then you double your sushi holdings with that long, or maybe you will hold longer and you multiply by much more times. So definitely it was worth it. My point here is that a lot of assets with great thoughtful market makers are going to buy back strong and promising projects like that from these spots, and they will push them on any Bitcoin reliefs. They will push them higher, so that if Bitcoin goes below 18,000 and maybe creates new lows, they are doing those pushes in that order, so those altcoins won't be destroyed. So even if Bitcoin goes for the new lows, these altcoins that were pushed and pumped significantly by the thoughtful market makers behind it, they will be safe. They won't renew their lows. So technically for sushi, it is clear to me that sushi is not going to renew its lows. I think so. But for now, because actually sushi didn't just pump so hard yet. It still can renew it. But if we talk about injective, it is not going to break below $1 already. That opportunity is over. So take that into consideration. So if you have a great conviction in an asset, then you have to start investing in it. Let's talk about NEAR. For example, as an example, you can see my major reversal spots expectations. I told you many times, for example. So let's talk about my 33% investment approach, shall we? For example, I want to buy NEAR, but I don't know where its bottom is going to be. Of course, I know that I'm going to buy in the near bottom zone, but I don't know where exactly, and I want to find the better entry possible. So what should I do? I use the 33% approach here, my strategy. Let's assume, hypothetically, for example, I have $3,000, and I want to invest them in NEAR protocol token, and I want to find the best average entry in it, because, for example, I believe that it is going to be worth from $20 to $34 in the next super cycle. So, and I still don't know imagine that we don't have this trading here yet. This area is not traded. Let's assume that we only approaching this zone, this support, this global trend line, and we don't have this wick that is saying us that we are going lower. Let us assume that we have only touched this global trend line and we are ready maybe to reverse and go further, and we don't know it yet. So I have $3,000, for example, and I use my strategy. So what should I do? We start consolidating here, and what should I do? I use 33% of my equity allocated for NEAR protocol and buy NEAR here, somewhere around 558, 560. So I use $1,000 from my $3,000 to buy NEAR here. We start pumping a little bit and we going back below. For example, I could place the stop loss below my entry here if we lose it, or maybe I forgot to place it. And let's assume that I forgot to place this stop loss. And we are dumping further. And we are reaching what? We are reaching our second and last major global trend line, the red one. And as the price touches it, what should I do? Of course, according to our strategy, we know that the price always reacts upon these global trend lines. So we are buying here. The second 1,000, we are buying here. The next, we have 1,000 left. So what should we do next? We are waiting for this consolidation, and as we can see, the price is going up. We are feeling better now because we have got $1,000 at the bottom. We think that it is bottom maybe for now, and we are here upon ready to retest or maybe even break this range line, and we finally break it and we go for the retest of this global trend line as we usually do. The price is going not chaotically, it is going according to market mechanics and according to algorithms that make the price to go from liquidity to liquidity. So when we break a major trend line, like here, we broke it, we found the lower one, and we went for the retest of this of the previous trend line. We could get rejected here and get back here, or we could break it, reclaim it, and go further. The same situation was here. We came for the retest of this global trend line. Okay, we retested it, we got rejected here. So definitely we see this rejection, we don't hold this 1,000. So we are selling without loss here. So what we bought here, we are selling without loss. So we only now have $1,000 in profit. What we do next? We see the rejection here and the reversal. We understand that the price of NIR is going back to at least this range support. It comes here, tries to get back up, and we are getting rejected, getting back to our global trend line. So what should we do here? There are two expectations from us here, as you remember. We either find a global reversal here and we will go, it is going to be our final bottom here, or we will break and will fall into this zone. So definitely we freed this 1,000. This 1,000 is in NIR. So when we touch here, retest this global trend line, we buy another $1,000 in anticipation that we will soar from here and go for the retest at least of this trend line again. Or if we reclaim it, find support, we can use the third 1,000 and buy here too and hold it until it. But if we don't, we do not buy anything. So we spent 2,000 here, and for example we pump here and find resistance here and back up, losing it and going back in our major anticipation point. So here is where we spend the third 1,000. And what should we do next? We already spent all the money that we had allocated for NIR, and we only caught this point of total bottom, for example. And we are going further. Of course, from here we are finding support here, somewhere here, and we are going for the retest of this line. If we see rejection and 4-hour daily candle closing with an absorbing candle, we sell this 1,000 that we bought here. We sell it, and we go for the retest of this global support. And here is where we use this 1000 that we freed here to rebuy here again. And for example, we are going higher, reclaiming it, and going for the right already. And we have a great entry, total entry here, somewhere around $3, and 2000s around 230, $2 around $2. This is a great long-term entry and accumulation, average entry on this asset. Of course, you can ask, what if we buy here and we go lower? In that case, nothing special here, I think, because if we even go lower from here, we will reclaim this support, resistance as support very fast. So even if we go lower, we see some consolidation here, stop of the fall, and we can use near to open long with the smallest available leverage, 1x, 2x, and you can multiply your near holdings, and by the time we are getting back here, you will have twice as much near than you have bought with all your allocated money. That is how I am going to accumulating assets of great interest to me. So I hope it was understandable to you. Sorry for taking so much long time to explain it, but I wanted you to understand it clearly. Okay, let's look at our possible our assets of interest that can provide us great short entries with additional return. Those are the assets that were outperforming recently in the last several months. They were outperforming the other altcoins. Let's start with MATIC. I shared yesterday my short here on MATIC. I took short. Why? I was sticking to my education that I'm sharing with my subscribers from private room, from private channel. As you can see, we have an interesting global situation here on MATIC. We pumped hard from our global trend line, our last global trend line here. Pumped hard from it on the news that, on some mysterious news that MATIC is releasing its zero knowledge rollups, proofs, or whatever. The experts have already criticized that they are not actually the zero knowledge, and even tomorrow they have this announcement that not tomorrow, in 3 days they are going to release those zero knowledge proofs. And for me, it is not even bullish news and event. It more of a not bullish, but who knows. I am not claiming anything yet. So let's look why I opened short yesterday. Because we had a clear situation that you have to take risks. I'm sorry, I have to switch this. Okay, we had this. We already, as you remember, we pumped hard. We found this yellow zone of total resistance, and we broke below, broke this green trend line that we were running at, and it has become our resistance, as always. Playing level to level, trading simple. So we had this, and now we build this local control trend line red. And as you can see, it worked very well. And this local control trend line was in the same place where our key resistances of Kijun shift on the daily time frame, and super trend were at the same place. So it meant very strong situation for me. So definitely I opened at 85 cents. I told you that at 85, 70, you can try and open shorts, because the invalidation here is very clear and short. If we break above and reclaim its Kijun as support, then we can go higher. Until then, until we reclaim this Kijun as support, there is no go up. So definitely I took that short, and now I placed my my stop loss at entry, and I'm feeling safe. Trading shorts is always a great idea when you have a great understanding of the right positioning of the place where you are allowed and it is worth opening that short, not in the middle of nowhere, and if you where you desire to do this, so but where we have to do that according to the mechanics, the TA, and other indicators. So definitely it was worth opening here, but the future of this short is kind of questionable now, because as I told you already, we are not going very low during the weekend, so we can start consolidating somewhere here above the intersection of 7 and 30 EMA. But if we reclaim it, of course we have to close these shorts and we can go higher, most likely, if we reclaim it, if that's not a fake out. But if we go lower, we will find either support here upon this supporting trend line, and if Bitcoin is getting strong, we will be pushed above this Kijun, retested, and then we are bullish and we are going higher, and our green trend line is going to be our resistance point from where the price is going to stop, and potentially we can short in that case from that line. If not, if we are not recovering but choose to break this line, definitely there will be another place to enter a short. It is when we break it and retest it as resistance. And if we retest it and here and get rejected, then we are set to go to 60.57 cents for MATIC. This is the mechanics. This is what we should do and follow. This is how you trade. It is made easy. I do not trade on 5, 15 minutes, 30 minutes charts or hourly. I prefer taking the long-term trades. They are more safe and more fundamental without any unnecessary noise. So this is about MATIC. Let's take a look at Atom. About Atom, an interesting situation on Atom here. Let me find it first. Let's start with this chart where it is more clear. Here, what we got here, of course, I'm gonna tell you I was interested in Cosmos because I knew that Cosmos is releasing its Atom 2.0, the new roadmap, the new possibilities and incentives. Of course, it meant to pump and feel strong this asset. I like this asset because it started to become more noticeable. Usually Cosmos ecosystem is not that hypey with the crypto communities, but today we can see that it has changed because they already started attracting the attention of the high profile investment funds and getting more funding. And of course a lot of and the community is expanding because a lot of people see the benefit of joining Atom, because you can buy Atom and it has very limited, if I am not mistaken, only 286,000 of Atom tokens. So you can buy them and you can stake them with up to 17-18 APY, and additionally receive airdrops of the Cosmos ecosystem, new startups and other projects. Sounds very beneficial, especially if you understand that tokenomics allows Atom not only be noticeable and attract attention and funding, but also, as you can see, we can make an assumption that, and I made it I don't know, maybe a year ago, that Atom is going to reach $100 one day. It is not going to be, I think it is not going to be very fast and very soon, but definitely $50-$100 is on the table, of course, and buying it is worth it. But I didn't buy here. I was thinking about some other things when we were here, so definitely I missed this opportunity. And a lot of people are jumping into this asset because they some were here already telling that we are going to $100, but even if we do, as we expect, it is not going to be an easy and fast ride. So definitely we have to take into consideration that we will set back from that rally. That rally was strong, and as I can see lately, Atom started to feel less strong. I saw some weaknesses in it. Definitely the capital started a little bit outflowing from it, and I see some great setups on it. Let's look at them. So what we got here, I am looking at the weekly and monthly candles. So what we got here, we as you remember from my previous video, we needed to break this global trend line in order to feel possibility to fall down back at least to $9, somewhere here. And we already broke it, but we have some additional supports there that we have to pay attention to. I don't think we are going to drop from right here on the spot. As you can see, I told you that we, on the daily chart, we have this support set of supports, which is this global trend line, this local trend line here. It was before when we were here, and we had this daily Kijun support and daily super trend support. So breaking this one means that we are set to go lower. Of course, if we do not reclaim it and go further, but I don't think it is possible at the moment. Yes, we can swing somewhere here, go for this global trend line and find support, and not that high, but retest 1430, maybe 1470 to retest our Kijun resistance, and at that time the super trend resistance. And when we retest it, and if we get rejected there, that will be the great sign of aping in the great short, which can get back to this zone and eventually break up into $8-9 zone. So these are my expectations. If we don't have it and we go strongly to the upside, then I would be looking for another short entries somewhere around $24. We will talk about it later, but we have to follow this one because the sign that we dumped under the Kijun resistance is a great sign for us that shorts are possible on item. And also we can see on the weekly, of course, this green, we close with this weekly green, and I think we will probably close as a green candle. We will have the opportunity of the upside movement during the beginning of that next week, but sooner or later we will get rejected and the shorts will be provided to us. From the monthly perspective, it also seems very likely that the shorts will work out well here. How? Let's look at it. We have this intersection of, we have this green week, great green week, where we around $17 we met great resistance, and now we are being held only by this global trend line, the blue one. So if within this month we get forward test of this cross of 730 EMA and we get rejected upon it, it is somewhere around 1430, maybe somewhere a little bit higher, 1417, 70. If we get rejected there, this is the chance, that is a great worthy chance of entering a short there. If we get rejected there, then we definitely going lower, and if this monthly draws that week to the upside and gets back below, drawing the similar to this previous candle, only a red one, then we are definitely set for another monthly, red monthly to the downside. I'm not sure where our bottom is going to be here on Atom, because definitely who follows me a long time knows that the market prefers to cover all these uncovered weeks, but sometimes on such top assets, when it's actually an actual final bottom, we can leave these things uncovered. So there is no guarantee we will be back to $5.79 to $5 again, or even $6. But for me, if you, like I did, if you missed Atom at its bottom, but you want to buy it, definitely do not buy it here now. If our scenario plays out, definitely we will be able to buy around in the 8, 9, from 7, 6, 7, $8 zone. If I was you, and what I'm going to do, I am going to place one order at $8, the second one at $7, and I'm going to wait here. One of them I think is going to be taken, and and even if it goes to $5, it doesn't matter, because in the long run that won't matter, given the fact that we are expecting the price to go to $50, $100, and you can stake it with 17% APY, and or even long it and increase the amount of your Cosmos. Definitely when you buy in a good area, in a good zone, in a good area of support, when the market is below, is 90% down, as you can see, Atom is not even 90% down at the moment. It was acting strongly, too much strong. So the approach here has to be the same as with Bitcoin in 2018. You bought somewhere in the 3,200 and the $5,000 zone. You believe that Bitcoin is going to above $20,000, then you simply trade it and increase using it as margin and increase your Bitcoin amount with that trading. That's it. Don't look at the dollar cost until you have the new ascending cycle and you don't make the new all-time highs and the market goes parabolic. Then you can consider selling it, not earlier. That is about Atom. Also, I was telling you about the Chiliz, but I tried to trade it. It was very volatile at that moment. I had one successful entry, one stopped me out with this candle. But I am placing stop loss, so I wasn't affected much. So definitely we broke this global trend contra trend line. That was a bullish sign actually, but then we dumped under it. I'm not trading it at the moment, but what should I mention? I still think that we are going back to 18 cents and eventually we will come to 14 cents on Chiliz. I don't know, I am not trading it now, but who knows, maybe everything will change. What we have to know here, let's enable our Kijun. We lost this Kijun here and now we are reclaiming it. For example, if we stay below this global counter trend line, this local trend line, and below this Kijun, then it is shorty. If we dive back under here, it is shorty and we are heading to 18 cents sooner or later if we stay there. If we reclaim above this, then definitely all the shorts, if we break it and reclaim it, have to be cut and we are going higher, and we know on the weekly where we are heading. If not, we are going to 18 cents and then recovery, and eventually we are heading to 14 cents, 13 cents. That is easy for me. So mechanics are simple here. Just follow your rules strictly and you will find your success here. And let's look at the higher time frames. On the higher time frames, I am feeling good because definitely on the weekly we have this selling candle. It is telling us that all this break that we had of this global counter trend line, we have absorbed it. All this move has been absorbed, and technically if we are not going lower this week, we are going to open maybe above it and go higher, but not too much, because I think we are not going higher than this candle. It is going to be our stopping point. But if this weekly dumps below, how many? Let's look at it. Below 21.30, definitely, and loses this purple trend line, then we are going to 19 cents, definitely, at least to this one. Or to draw here. And then the rest of it will be decided. But that candle is speaking too much to me already. Sooner or later we have to approach this global trend line again, because this asset was overhyped with the publicity and other stuff. Let's look at the last one I'm looking at is Litecoin, I'm sorry. I have some interesting situation here. We know that I already told you that Litecoin is having it's halving in the next 300 days, but I think it's still not good for buys. It will be good for buys when we either recover this week. So we are going sooner or later to $40, I'm certain of it, and maybe even $25. So my task here is to watch how we are going to retest this global trend line as resistance. If we retest it and get rejected somewhere here, and we are going to have here EMAs also as a resistance, and this trend line, local trend line, if we retest it well, if this weekly closes green, then we probably are going to have another candle green here, but we will find this resistance because we have this absorbing great insightful candle here. Then we will reverse here and go to the downside. Definitely it is going to be a worthy space to open a short upon this global trend line and this local line as resistance if we confirm the rejection on the 4-hour time frame or daily. So follow it, do with this information whatever you like. Good luck to you guys, great weekend, see ya.